Welcome to the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup, a championship for 2016 that is already now 3 editions old. A Dorna-backed series that acts as a feeder class to the world of motorcycle racing and potentially unearthing the young racing talent from the Asia-Pacific region. 20 riders this season line up, aged between 12 and 19, on identical machinery. The Honda NSF 250R, a Moto3 bike. And the riders take to the circuit 12 times, with 10 of the races featuring on the same schedule as the MotoGP World Championship and the Moto FIM Superbike World Championship 2. Riders from Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, China, Australia, India and Turkey all contest in this series. 14 are rookies out of the 20 this year, looking to follow in the footsteps of previous champions Kaito Toba in 2014 and last year's winner Ayumu Sasaki. You're looking at highlights here of yesterday's race from Motegi. There's 3 to go, including today's race. Yuki Kuni was the winner yesterday, number 5 from pole position, with Kazuki Masaki finishing in 2nd and Ayagura 3rd. So it's a good afternoon from the Twin Ring in Motegi. The Japanese Grand Prix has just taken place, and the fans, or certainly some of them anyway, are staying on here to watch the future talent on circuit. Last year's champion Ayumu Sasaki was crowned Red Bull Rookie Champion just 3 weeks ago, and so it's a clear indication of what's to come. 3 riders from Japan were on the podium yesterday: Yuki Kuni, Ayagura and Ryusei Yamanaka. And let's see how they fare here today. On pole position is Yuki Kuni. Yamanaka 2nd, with Masaki 3rd on the grid. Here is Yuki Kuni. With that great win yesterday, he stays 6th in the championship. But crucially, there are just 21 points in it between him and the championship leader Somkhet Chantra of Thailand. Thailand's Chantra himself yesterday finished in 6th place. And so another result like yesterday, and the series will close up even more going into the final 2 races when the MotoGP World Championship visits Sepang in Malaysia in a fortnight's time. Here is Ryusei Yamanaki then. I think I just mentioned he finished on the podium yesterday. He didn't, sorry. He finished just off the podium. It was Kuni, Masaki, Ogura and Yamanaka. So 4 Japanese riders inside the top 5 yesterday, with Andy Izdihar finishing in 5th place. Yamanaka then pushes off from 2nd place. All of these bikes identical, the leather's identical, and so the only thing that separates them is their individual talent and their race numbers on the front of the bikes. There's Kazuki Masaki then, the 16-year-old Japanese rider who picked up his 2nd podium of the season yesterday with that 2nd place, and he's 42 points adrift in 7th overall, so it's still mathematically possible for him to have his say in the series, but he'd pretty much have to finish on the top 2 steps of every race and hope that there are an awful lot of tumbles around him. Anything possible though in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Here's Ai Agura. Ai finished in 3rd place yesterday, and that lifted him up into 2nd place overall in the championship, ahead of Andy Izdihar, and he's now just 5 short of Somkhet Chantra. The bad news is for Somkhet Chantra fans that didn't look yesterday like he had the race pace to be able to fight. So unless there have been some setup changes from him and those around him, this could be a difficult afternoon for him. And if he can leave here with his championship lead, I would imagine he'd probably take that. Here is Izdihar, rider from Indonesia, on the 2nd row. And then Somkhet Chantra is next up. Here we are with the onboard camera on the Thai rider's machine. Number 18, Somkhet Chantra. A couple of results now that might be slightly concerning for the championship leader. An 8th last time out in China, and then the 6th yesterday. He'll be really keen to get himself back on the top step, or at least somewhere near that podium. Heading row 3 is another Indonesian rider, Jerry Salim. Salim, number 4, 19-year-old, second oldest rider in the paddock. He battled for the race win last time out in China with Yuki Kuni. Yesterday, Jerry finished down in 10th place, and so his chances in the championship did take a bit of a battering. He's still only 14 points behind, but race pace again, much like Somkit Chantra's, needs to improve here overnight, because the Japanese force was pretty noticeable. Here's number 15. Shogo Kawasaki is 8th in the championship. He can't win it, but yesterday Shogo was 7th overall, so he'll be looking to repeat that performance again. And you can see there at the front row all getting themselves ready to go. We'll be beginning the warm-up lap very shortly. Here's Chan On-Chu. Chan finished in 8th place yesterday, which lifts him ahead of his brother, twin brother Denitz, in the championship. But Denitz suffered a bad crash yesterday, and it will be good if he's made it out onto the grid. Technically speaking, he should be starting from 13th, and it looks like everyone's on there, so good news for him. Riku Sugiwara. Sugiwara currently 9th in the championship on 52 points. 7 clear of Chan On-Chu that we just saw a moment ago. So in terms of this race, it's a 15-lapper in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. 21 points separating 6 riders. No matter what happens today, the series will go to the final round. It might go to the final race, and to be honest, it's incredibly likely. A bit of psyching up going on down on the front row of the grid there for number 12, Ryusei Yamanaka. But the rider to beat, there's no question, is Yuki Kuni. He didn't get off to the greatest of start from pole position yesterday. Qualified on pole by 0.4 of a second ahead of anyone else. And so we knew that he had the pace, but he had to work for it. They're on their way now for the warm-up lap. He was pushed back to 3rd or 4th, and then eventually when he got to the front, there was too much jostling going on behind him, and he was allowed to break out and bridge a gap over the rest, and in the end went across the line 6/10 clear of the big battle going on behind for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Now Yuki Kuni, who is on pole, is only 13. It's his rookie season in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Started the year off with a couple of 6th places and a couple of 8th places in Thailand and Qatar. Followed it up in Sepang the first time they went there with the World Superbike Championship with a 7th and a 4th. And at that point, he was quite a considerable distance off Somkit Chantra in the championship. But he won the 2nd race in China last time out. And because of his consistency, he and Somkit Chantra are the only 2 riders that have finished every race so far this season. He has all of a sudden now reduced Somkit Chantra's lead and has given himself a glimmer of hope. Another win here today, and Yuki Kuni will have won 3 on the trot and will be the man on form going into Sepang. Quite a few of these riders have seen this circuit before, of course. As we mentioned before, 6 of them raced in last year's championship. Kazuki Masaki, Jerry Salim, Ai Ogura, Ryusei Yamanaka, Somkit Chantra as well, and Idam Khairuddin. Khairuddin, the younger brother of Zulfami Khairuddin, of course, who races in the World Supersport Championship, former Grand Prix rider. A couple of other names to bring to your attention as well. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing the Indian rider Ahmed Yansin. He's not made it out there here this weekend. Alif Yutama had a big crash earlier in the weekend, so it doesn't look like he's lined up on the grid either. So that means there'll be just 19 riders here taking part. Somkit Chantra lines up on the grid then. He needs a better result than yesterday, otherwise his championship lead will surely disappear. 15 laps coming up for this group of 12 to 19-year-olds. Yuki Cooney, number 5, is the rider to beat. He's on pole position. 15 laps coming up. Yamanaka, second on the grid, number 12, 4th yesterday, and in 3rd is Kazuki Masaki, who was 2nd overall yesterday. The lights go out here for race 2, and away we go. Not a great start again there from number 5, Yuki Cooney, and this is a carbon copy of yesterday, because coming through from the second row is Ai Ogura, number 9. Brilliant start from him, and Andy Izdihar has flown away as well. Number 23, the Indonesian rider, to get himself up there. We're on board with Ai Ogura. He's up ahead of Yamanaka and then Andy Izdihar. So another poor start from Yuki Cooney. It looks like he's just tucked in there in 4th place as they all try and find some decent spaces into turn 3. Now around turn 4. There are some obvious overtaking places around this Motegi circuit, but to be quite honest with you, these guys will overtake just about everywhere, as Andy Izdihar fancies a turn at leading. Good job there from 3rd up to 1st for Andy Izdihar, the Indonesian, who's looking to make up for what happened yesterday. Ai Ogura now goes up into 2nd place. Yuki Cooney moves up ahead of Yamanaka as well, so Yamanaka's down from 2nd place to 4th, and now at the front comes Ai Ogura. Brilliant move from the Japanese rider. Somkit Chantra getting aggressive, the championship leader there, number 18. He's in 6th place. He cannot afford to waste time here today. He sat in 6th for so long yesterday and just couldn't hang on to the rest of the field. He needs to get aggressive early on and try and trip a few of his title rivals up. At the front of this one then it is number 9, Ai Ogura, who's currently 2nd in the championship. Andy Izdihar following his tracks as they now make their way out of the hairpin at turn 10 and down this long back straight. Izdihar in the slipstream. There is Somkit Chantra on board of him now in 6th place, trying to find his way past, although this is the long way to go around the outside. That won't quite work. Down into the tight downhill turn 11, the 90-degree right-hander under the tunnel, then turns 12. 13, flick right here. Ooh, a couple of riders sitting up, and then into victory corner. At the moment, Andy Izdihar it is that leads as they make their way onto the start-finish straight. Let's get them all across the line. Izdihar it is that leads then across the line from Ogura, Cooney, Masaki, Chantra and Yamanaka. Kawasaki 7th, Salim 8th, Onshu in 9th place as they make their way around turns 1 and 2. Izdihar, brilliant lap that was there, 2:11.8 from a standing start. Ai Ogura 2nd, Yuki Cooney from pole position, now trying to float his way through to the front. And once he did that yesterday, nobody got back past him again. There was not a single rider that showed him a front wheel. So they can ill afford to let him get through again. Masaki will be aware of that, who's just up behind him, but we're on board with Ai Ogura, and here comes Yuki Cooney, the rider on pole position. What a couple of rounds Yuki Cooney has had. He has come of age. The 13-year-old just looks like a completely different rider at the moment, and he moves up into 2nd place. Ai Ogura, aggressive, will try and find a way back past. Andy Izdihar at the moment looks pretty comfortable, and Ai Ogura thought about a move there. Didn't quite work out. Chan Onchu's moved up into 8th place. The young Turkish rider, his twin brother, is in the race. Deniz Onchu, despite a bit of a concern about injury yesterday after a late crash between himself and Adi Insiar. Niam Sakal is in 19th place, and the Thai rider fell in the first lap yesterday, so he'll be pleased just to get that first lap under his belt as they now make their way around turn 10 again, on board of Somkit Chantra and down the long back straight. Slipstream absolutely crucial in this championship. Somkit Chantra is one of the taller riders, so you would think he'd be losing out a little in terms of overall weight as Yuki Cooney now fights his way through to the front. This is rather ominous. Yuki Cooney has won 2 on the trot. Don't think we've seen anyone win 3 on the trot. I'd have to check through some of the records, but 3 races on the trot wins in the Asia Talent Cup would be something else. I'm not sure if we've ever seen it before, but Yuki Cooney's going to take some stopping. He got the lap record yesterday. He's looking to do the same again here, a 2:02.4 on that second lap for him. He leads from Andy Izdihar and Ayagura. There is the number 5. Coming up down towards turn 3 now. Great overtaking opportunity, but no one's close enough to him. Andy Izdihar is number 23, Ayagura number 9. In 4th place is number 2, Motegi. Then it's Yamanaka number 12 and 18, Somkit Chantra, who we ride with now. Out of turn number 4. And then they will head over towards turn 5. Downhill slightly, awkward corner this, another overtaking manoeuvre there as they go under the bridge. Andy Izdihar has gone back out into the front. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to rough up Yuki Kuni, sorry. So around 6, turn 7 now, turn 8 is a change of direction. They'll tip right and then they'll just climb uphill into turn number 9, uphill, left-hander. And then early on the power, if you can. Oh, and out of the saddle there for Yamanaka number 12, before then making their way towards turn 10. Hairpin, really tight corner this. Important to get the right line and get the power on as early as possible, ready for the slipstream on this back straight. See a replay here. There is number 2. We're on board with Ogura, as you see there, number 12, just getting a little bit wrong and out of the saddle. And there is Ardiencia as well, a little bit further back. But you're looking there at that number 12. There's the high side moment. That nearly went all wrong for him, unfortunately. But so far he stays on board. There is Andy Izdihar then. He leads from Ayagura. What's happened to Yuki Kuni on this lap? He was leading a minute ago. And as we go across the line to complete lap 3... Yuki Kuni is down to 4th place, number 5. Make that 5th, is it? Oh, he's being run out wide there. That's the long way round for Yuki Kuni. He's got to be ever so careful. Whilst he is the rider on form at the moment, he is the one chasing in the championship. He can't afford to fall. This is getting pretty close, actually. This is a lot closer than it was yesterday. Number 9, Ayagura, it is that leads then. On board with Agura now, and this is how it stands on lap 3 of 15. Ayagura would go to Malaysia with a 7-point lead, but it's changed again. So scrap that from your memory immediately. Look at that, Yamanaka just going up the inside of Yuki Kuni. Andy Izdihar moving forward as well. I've got no idea why number 2, Kazuki Masaki, is looking over his shoulder. He's only just taken the lead. I don't know what he's expecting to see, but he ain't bridged a gap of 10 seconds just yet. There's a train of riders up behind him. The top 11 are all covered by, what, about a second? 2 seconds maybe at most. Brilliant stuff in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. An aggressive move there from Yamanaka number 12 as he goes up the inside of Andy Izdihar, the Indonesian number 23. There is Masaki then, number 2. Leading this race from Agura. It was a Japanese lockout. Oh, a bit sideways. Somkit Chantra will gobble him up there and says thanks very much. Now he's got to try and push past. That was Yuki Kuni that made a mistake, and some uncharacteristic mistakes from Kuni, although he does fly through on the brakes again down into turn number 11. But yesterday's winner has got a lot more work on here than he had yesterday. We'll come through Victory Corner now and onto the start-finish straight. Time to tuck into the slipstream as we make our way on here. Somkit Chantra's looking a lot stronger than he was yesterday as well, which is good news for the neutral. Across the line we go. Just a small matter of 1 second covering 9 riders. Ayagura it is that just has the advantage, but it's getting pretty close as they make their way round. Andy Izdihar was really aggressive and moves up into 2nd place. Ayagura still leads. Yamanaka is in 3rd place. Yuki Kuni's still up there. Chantra Chan on Chu's having a brilliant ride. Jerry Salim's up there as well. Shogo Kawasaki's been dumped down to 9th place. Nakamura 10th. Sujiwara in 11th. And then it's a big gap. In fact, 10 seconds back to Iram Khairuddin in 12th. And then Denitson Chu and Tom Edwards, the Australian. At the front of this one, Ayagura led, but he doesn't anymore. Andy Izdihar back to the front again. The Indonesian rider looking to try and change the flags on that podium ceremony at the end of this race. There were 3 Japanese flags up there yesterday. The top 4 locked out by Japanese riders. And Now looking at Somkit Chantra, who's been quite patient, but he's just been dropped a position as well. There is Ayagura. We're looking back at number 12, Yamanaka, and number 5, Yuki Cooney, yesterday's winner. Andy Izdihar it is that leads as they head now down towards turn number 10. Round the hairpin, Andy Izdihar has done well on this lap. No one into the 202s on that lap. Yesterday, Yuki Cooney managed 202.4. We've not seen that just yet here in this race. There is number 23 then, Andy Izdihar, that has the advantage down into turn 11. One of the best corners on any calendar, really. Turn 11, downhill. The 90-degree right-hander here in Motegi. Onto the start-finish straight we go again. 10 laps to go when they cross the line now. Andy Izdihar leads from Ayagura and Yamanaka. On board with Agura as they tip into turn 1 and then turn 2. It's basically one corner. It's named turns 1 and 2, but it's just a double apexed corner. Looked like there, just a bit further back. Who was that getting chopped up? I think that was Yuki Cooney again. Well, his work cut out this afternoon, and look who's coming through there as well. Number 20, that's Nakamura. Nakamura yesterday was down in 11th place, but getting really aggressive. Not ever had any points in this championship, Nakamura, number 20. So after yesterday, he picked up his first points. He looks like he could feature rather strongly. The championship standings, we'll just, I suppose, have to wait and look at them at the end of this race, because as it stands now, Izdihar would be the championship leader ahead of Agura. Chantra would be 10 points adrift, having been 5 points ahead at the start of the race. But anything could still happen. We've lost one. On board with Somkit Chantra. Who was that just went down in front of him? Was that Yuki Cooney? It was. Yesterday's race winner, Yuki Cooney, has gone down. And that's his first fall of the season, and that could be curtains for his late championship charge, and we will not be getting a double win here for Yuki Cooney. Disappointing for the Japanese 13-year-old. He gives the gravel trap a good kicking as well and walks away. We'll see a replay of that now. There is Cooney, number 5. He just lost the front. Simple as that, and he's out of the race. And I think that basically decides the championship for Yuki Cooney. He can still finish in the top 3, but in terms of winning it, his chances have taken a massive hit there. 2 wins on the trot, it won't be 3. Cooney's out. There he is walking away. He'd be absolutely gutted. He was proud as anything, stood on that top step yesterday. And now all he can do is watch. At the front of this then, it's Masaki that leads. It's all change here. Izdihar has lost it. He's down to 3rd place. Masaki and Yamanaka are up there. Masaki is looking to do a salvage job in this championship at the moment. Widely expected to be one of the favourites for this year's title. And he just didn't really fire on all cylinders at the start of the season. And he only took one podium up until yesterday, where he finished 2nd. If he could win this one, well, who knows what might happen. In the background, you can see 4 riders there, all trying to give themselves a decent chance. Somkit Chantra is definitely worth keeping an eye out for, as Ayagura runs onto the dust there and loses a place. So Ayagura has dropped now down. Chanon-Chu, number 3, is having the ride of his life. The 13-year-old Turkish rider, his best result of the season so far is a 7th. We look there then at number 2, Masaki, ahead of Yamanaka and Chanon-Chu. We have never had a Turkish rider on the podium in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Looking at a replay here of Ayagura, looking back there at Chanon-Chu and Somkit Chantra going through on him, courtesy of that. And now we come out of turn 10 and down the back straight. Number 2, Masaki has it, but Yamanaka is in his slipstream and is about to pull out now, and we'll try and get him on the brakes, but he's late, is Masaki. Izdihar's now up to 3rd. Chanon-Chu demoted to 4th place. Agura still up there, number 9. Oh, that was a bit close there. Chanon Chu not willing to give up on third place, but he has to this time. And Andy Izdihar moves back into third place again. Different look to this race. Somkit Chantra has had an absolute nightmare somewhere on circuit. Maybe I missed it, but he's fallen all the way back into 8th place, the championship leader, and that won't do. That will not do at all. Around and out of turn 2. Yamanaka it is that leads. The 14-year-old Japanese rider who last year finished in 15th overall. He's never had a win in the Asia Talent Cup, but he's been second on 3 occasions. There's Chanon Chu, who I mentioned hasn't even been in the top 5 yet this year, and he's fighting at the moment for a podium. But if you look at the group there, all the way back to, what have we got, 10th place? Any one of these guys theoretically could win as they trip each other up and dust is sprayed around even more. Yamanaka leads from Masaki. Masaki not had a win yet this year. He won 2 races last season on his way to 3rd in the championship, the number 2. A win here in Motegi and a win in Sepang as well. He was 2nd here yesterday, and he just has to sit up there so as to not hit Yamanaka up the backside. There's Andy Izdihar, then number 23 in 3rd place. Izdihar, if he stays there, would be championship leader. Ayagura, another one in the championship that could feature strongly. Somkit Chantra, who, technically speaking, until the checkered flag comes out, has a championship lead, but there he is, number 18, and we're on board with him now. We'll have to make some headway pretty soon, because he's got Kawasaki on his tail as well. Can't quite get the draft down into turn 11, although he's going to have to go slightly wide there to avoid running into number 4 up ahead of him, Jerry Salim. Kazuki Masaki then goes into the lead ahead of Yamanaki. That was a lovely move. Kazuki Masaki did that a couple of times yesterday. Brilliantly executed. If you've just joined us, Yuki Kuni, the rider who was on pole, the rider who won yesterday, has gone out of the race. Chanon Chu was the fastest rider on that last lap. That's a 2:02.281. And I rather fancy that that may well be a new lap record. Chanon Chu, number 3. Here he comes. Well, considering he's never seen the podium before, he's not doing a bad job, and he's certainly not scared. No pressure. Not feeling it at all. 13-year-old Turkish rider. Number 12, Yamanaka, leads, but not for much longer. Through comes Kazuki Masaki. Chanon Chu thinking about a move as well. Number 3. Then it's Andy Izdihar and Ayagura. Behind Agura is Indonesian Jerry Salim, number 4. Somkit Chantra from Thailand, number 18 in 7th. The championship leader before the start of this race, but there were only 21 points separating 6 riders. The rider that was in 6th has gone down, so it's all change again. Further back, Denitson Chu, Chan's twin brother, is in 11th ahead of Aussie Tom Edwards. Iram Khairuddin, younger brother of Fahmi, is in 13th ahead of Kenan Sofuoglu's cousin, Bahatin, in 14th. And Somkit Chantra is now taking a turn to go onto the grass and in the dust. Number 2, Masaki it is that has this advantage ahead of Yamanaka. Then it's number 3, Chanon Chu, and Andy Izdihar just lining him up now, getting into the slipstream as we head downhill. It plunges downhill then into turn 11. At the end of this lap, there'll be 6 to go. Here comes Andy Izdihar, brilliantly done. He was 4th out of turn 10, and now he leads, the Indonesian. Brilliant stuff there. He got a triple slipstream. That's just what can happen in these races. We've seen it, of course, at World Championship level in Moto3. You see it in the Red Bull Rookies, and now you're seeing it in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Brilliant racing as ever here from this wonderful championship. Across the line you go, and there was 0.07 of a second covering 4 riders. So you could put a bedsheet over the top 5 as they came across the line. 0.8 covering the top 8. Number 2, Kazuki Masaki it is that has the advantage ahead of number 3, Chanon Chu, who must be getting a nosebleed up in 2nd place. Unknown territory for the Turkish rider. Here we see replay of number 2, Kazuki Masaki, up ahead of number 12, Yamanaka, and then Izdihar, number 9 Ayagura. This is from a bit earlier on. Tell you what, every time they go under that tunnel, the dust is being sprayed up. 1 or 2 riders running wide. Motegi leads. Chan On-Chu in second. Number 9 Ayagura in third. That would probably put Ayagura into the championship lead. 6 laps to go. Here comes Yamanaka up the inside of Ayagura aggressively. Ayagura shakes his head. Yamanaka yesterday looked absolutely disgusted at finishing third on the podium. He could not force a smile. Sorry, Ayagura I'm talking about, not Yamanaka. Yamanaka just missed out, but Ayagura was absolutely livid. So let's see what happens. Number 2 it is at the moment that has the advantage. Here comes Chan On-Chu, and probably for the first time in his career, Chan On-Chu leads, but it's short-lived because back up the inside and a nudge as well for good measure comes Kazuki Motegi. Chan On-Chu has to settle for second again. The Turkish rider getting really aggressive and showing some excellent racecraft for someone who's never been in the top 5 before, and he is not giving up on this one as they go side by side. Chan On-Chu is so small, he's pint size, so that little bike of his is absolutely flying, and here comes Yamanaka now to have a look. Oh, it's so close there as Kazuki Motegi chops On-Chu's nose off into turn 1 and then turn 2. This is a completely different race to what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, Yuki Kuni just disappeared off in the end and then rolled off on the last couple of laps. But this is so different. Yamanaka there from third. Thought about going up into second and can't. Chan On-Chu leads again. The Turkish sensation. Here's a replay. In the background, Somkiat Chantra is getting beaten up as well. Just slightly wide into turn 11 there. Oh, and they touch as they then go under the tunnel. Whack. Brilliant stuff here. Of course, Turkey got a couple of riders who are coming through the system. Kina Sofoglu, of course, is the experienced multiple World Supersport champion. He's got a protege in Toprak Razgatioglu over in that Motul FIM World Superbike paddock as well. And in this class, there are 3 Turkish riders to keep an eye on. The twins, Chan and Deniz On-Chu. And of course, Kina Sofoglu's cousin. The Turkish riders are coming. At the moment, Chan On-Chu's just dropped back to 4th place. He just needs to settle back into things. Kazuki Motegi leads it, the 16-year-old. 3rd last year in the championship. Been struggling of late in the 2016 season. Has to get race wins if he's got any chance of winning this championship. There are only 3 races left, including this one. We come down the back straight into turn 11. And late on the brakes is Motegi. He holds on to the lead for now. What about Somkiat Chantra, who was the championship leader before we rolled the wheels today? Well, at number 18, he's there just in 6th place. He's just moved ahead of Andy Izdihar. Chopping and changing everywhere you look, and as we go across the line, there will be 4 laps to go. A few fans in the grandstands there you can see that are not going anywhere. And you can see why. Look at that. If it stays like this at the moment on lap 10 of 15, there would be a single point separating Ayagura and Somkiat Chantra, and there'd be 9 points covering 9 points covering 4 riders going into the final 2 races in Sepang. That would be fantastic. Around turn 4 we go. Ooh, slightly wide there from Motegi, and he's dropped a couple of places. Yamanaka comes through, as does Ayagura. Motegi has to be on the podium if his championship is to stay alive. Number 23, Andy Izdihar's just fallen back now into 10th place. Sorry, into 8th place. There's 8 riders here that have all got a chance. On board with Ayagura. Yamanaka on the inside there, number 12. Number 2 is Kazuki Motegi. You have to say that these 3 riders at the moment look favourites. The 3 Japanese rider to potentially find the podium at the end of the race. They've probably just about got enough in their tanks to do it. Chan On-Chu, Somkiat Chantra, Andy Izdihar, they could all have a say. Don't discount Shogo Kawasaki either, because he's had a late lunge or 2. Somkit Chantra, is he now trying to force his way through to the front and show everyone why he is champion? No, he's at the back of the group. It is Shogo Kawasaki that's now moved up into 4th place as Ayagura takes the lead. Ooh, a few riders running wide down into turn 11 there. Number 3, Chanon Chu, is one of them. So having led, he's dropped all the way back to 7th place. Ayagura leads. Well, who wants this? As we now make our way across the line. Says, yeah, it'll be 3 laps to go now as we cross the line. So, well, look at this. I mean, across the line, Ayagura had the lead. Then he dropped back to 3rd, and then the next corner, he's back to 1st again. This is the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup at its best. And look at them all, getting in the slipstream. Different lines. Oh, Shogo Kawasaki almost got wiped out there. They now go into turn 3. Yamanaka trying to look for the inside line. Ayagura holds on to it. Number 9, Ayagura leads from Yamanaka, number 12. Kawasaki, number 15, has been pumped back a bit. Watch this. His front wheel gets a right clattering. Wow. Brilliant racing here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Chanon Chu trying to make up a few places there as well, as they now make their way out of turn number 5 and uphill turn 6. Then turn 7, this left-hander, uphill again. Somkit Chantra now as close to the front as he has been all race. We'll flick right again here, change of direction through turn 8, then uphill into turn number 9. What's going on there? Waving of arms, Chanon Chu, I'm not sure what he's up to there, as Yamanaka finds his way up the inside of Kazuki Masaki, but they're all on the throttle earlier now. They're all looking up. I don't know what Ayagura's doing, looking around. They're all still there, mate. So they now head up towards turn 10. The hairpin. Slipstream City coming up. Brilliant racing here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Blink, and you're down in 8th place. You can be a hero and take the spills and win. Be unbelievable. Down the back straight, Yamanaka's weaving around so he doesn't hit Agura at the backside. Kazuki Masaki's going the long way round. That might not work for him. Ayagura, then it is, that just about comes out on top. Despite all of the fun and frolics that go on over your average lap, somehow number 9 and number 2 regularly feature at the front of this race. Ayagura number 9 and Kazuki Masaki number 2. Yamanaka's there as well, number 12. Somkit Chantra, who's had sitting there quietly most of this race. He's found some pace since yesterday. Some changes have been made for the Thai rider. He don't want to give up on that championship lead just yet. 2 laps to go here at the twin ring. Motegi as number 4. Jerry Salim just flirts with the grass on the exit of turn number 2. Somkit Chantra on board with now, and he'll just sit back and watch this lot trip each other up. Shogo Kawasaki there, number 15, whose best result of the season is a 7th, is staring a potential podium in the face. Andy Izdihar's up there as well. On board again with Somkit Chantra, and he goes the long way round. That's ambitious. That's really ambitious from the series leader, but he moves up into 3rd. Brilliantly done from Somkit Chantra down into turn number 11. Sorry, I'm getting confused. We're not at turn number 11. Forget me. We're now coming up into turn number 7 and then 8. Masaki leads number 2. Then it's Somkit Chantra. Then it's Ayagura, Shogo Kawasaki and Yamanaka. Chanon Chu, number 3, the Turkish rider, is in 6th place. Somkit Chantra, what a win this would be. After what happened to him yesterday, he could not get anywhere near this group. Somkit Chantra ended up finishing 10 seconds behind the leading group, but here he is in contention to win. The last time Somkit Chantra had a win was back in Malaysia. We're on board with him now. He pulls out of the slipstream. Can he get him on the brakes? No. Masaki remains your race leader at the moment, around turn 11, and now he has a look up the inside, going into the chicane. No, not quite. Ayagura's there as well as Yamanaka, and now it's time to get yourself in a good spot, because as we come over the line, we begin the final lap of the race. It's round 5 of the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. It's race 10 of 12 in the 2016 season. As it stands, there would be 23 points between 4 riders. A minute ago, there were 9 points between 4 riders. That's how much it could change. And this final lap is absolutely crucial. Somkit Chantra will remain the championship leader, courtesy of a brilliant couple of laps. But He's being overtaken here as Ayagura goes up into second place. So Somkit Chantra has just been pushed back to third, the series leader. Motegi, he has desperately got to win this race if he's got any chance at all and any visions of winning a championship. And now he's dropped back behind Ayagura. Yamanaka looking busy. Number 12, number 15, Shogo Kawasaki. It's all going to be about getting the drive and the slipstream coming out of turn 10, the hairpin, because you can get treble slipstream. We've already seen that. Motegi there, really aggressive, but he's now on the wrong side of the circuit, and Somkit Chantra goes through and leads. Brilliantly done from the Thai rider, and he's timed it perfectly. Fantastic riding there from Somkit Chantra, but he's just opened the door there, and you don't want to do that in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. This is getting a bit messy now on this final lap. Would you expect anything else? Now then, we get into the slipstream as we head into turn number 10, and this is absolutely crucial now. We make our way round turn 10, get in your slipstream, because here comes one of your last opportunities to overtake in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Ayagura are on board with. We look back at second place, Somkit Chantra. Any one of these four riders could win this one. As we now go down into turn 11, Somkit Chantra is having a go. It's tight. And Ayagura there, brilliant on the brakes. He was absolutely gutted this time yesterday with third place. But surely it's his now. There's a bit of slipstreaming still to do on the line. This could be very close indeed. The Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup is alive and kicking, even at race 10. The checkered flag is out, and Ayagura wins here in Motegi and is absolutely over the moon. He says, have that. He was disgusted with himself yesterday, and it is a lockout on the podium for Japan again. Yamanaka is second, Motegi's third, Somkit Chantra nudged down to fourth on the final lap. It's a career best fifth for Chanon-Chu in fifth. Jerry Salim and Andy Izdihar, the two Indonesians, finishing sixth and seventh. And Kawasaki and Sujiwara have to make do with 8th and 9th place. Brilliant race that from the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. Ayagura it is that wins the race, and with that takes a championship lead off Somkit Chantra going into the final round of the season. Brilliant racing here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup as ever. Last year it was signed, sealed and delivered for Ayumu Sasaki well before the season was over. Well, this year it's going all the way to the final round. Brilliant, brilliant stuff as ever here in what is a fantastic championship. Backed by Dorna, as we said before, a feeder class. It unearths all this talent from this Asia Pacific region. This year, India and Turkish riders are allowed into the championship as well. And that's what certainly worked out well for Turkey. Look what Chanon-Chu's doing. There you go, confirmation on the right of the new championship standings. Ayagura, a 7-point lead over Somkit Chantra, with Yamanaka now up to third from fifth, and Izdihar drops down to fourth, but there's only 18 between the four of them. Jerry Salim still in contention as well. Technically speaking, there are 7 riders that can still mathematically win this with 1 round to go. A wheelie from Somkit Chantra, despite the fact that he's not managed to find the podium. Oh, he had a chance to win that race. He was leading with, what, 4 or 5 corners to go, and he ends up with just 13. He's still happy. He finished the race. As for Yuki Kuni, well, he failed to finish, and that means he's now 41 points adrift in the championship with only 50 available. I'm afraid it's not going to happen for him. He could still finish in the top 3, but even that's a bit of a tall order. 3 Japanese riders then here on home turf make it onto the podium. Ayagura, well, his frown yesterday has been turned upside down today. And yeah, very, very good indeed there. Using the number 9 as a G and just putting good on the board. And that's exactly what it was. A superb last lap for Ayagura. There you can see Somkit Chantra. He was in second place coming into the final corner. He gets mugged for second. Then he makes a meal on the start-finish straight of that as well and loses out, mainly because of his size, to Kazuki Motegi. Masaki on 114 points in 7th place. He ain't going to win the championship this year, but he's on the podium again. Ayagura, look how much it means to him. He's almost just saying, you know what, that's what should have happened yesterday. But it's a 3rd and a 1st for him. Let's have a look at his results so far this season. He won the opening race of the season, Ayagura, in Thailand. He then finished 4th. 2nd and 7th in Qatar. Sepang was costly for him. He finished 5th and failed then to finish the 2nd race. And that's what then left him adrift of Somkhet Chantra. But in China last time out he was 1st and 3rd, and now he's 3rd and 1st. And look at that. When we talk about pumped up, of course there's no better place for him to win. They only visit Japan once in this championship, but he really wanted that. He really wanted that. And when you consider how close these races are, how much that means, there's just a 2nd covering the top 5. There's Alberto Puig just giving him a big handshake there. Of course, world famous talent scout Alberto Puig, famous for finding the talents that we've seen as world champions. This is what's great about the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup as well. They all get along, and it's just one big family. But you know, in a time where in the mid-90s there was so much dominance from Asian nations in Grand Prix races, especially from Japan. It's good to see that they're now coming there, and that's what this young man is being told. Handshakes all round then. There's Ayumu Sasaki there. He's just saying well done. Last year's champion. He was in the Parc Ferme yesterday and he's here again now. Good job then from Yamanaka. 14, he looks about 7. And there is Masaki, happy as ever, always got a smile on his face, the 16-year-old Masaki. But well, you're going to see a complete, if you were here yesterday watching race 1 and you saw Ayagura, well, it was a pretty miserable sight. He was absolutely furious, and even on the podium at the end, when they were all asked to smile for the cameras, he looked absolutely gutted. As Ayumu Sasaki there has a bit of a laugh with Kazuki Masaki. That was fun last year, let me tell you, commentating on Sasaki and Masaki. I'm mighty relieved that Sasaki won the championship and then went on to win the Red Bull Rookie Championship. Let's get the confirmation then of the race results that we've seen. Brilliant racing here at the Twin Ring. And it was a victory for Ayagura, his 3rd of the season, ahead of Ryosei Yamanaka. Kazuki Masaki 3rd, ahead of Chantra, Chanon-Chu, Juri Salim, Andy Izdihar, Shogo Kawasaki and Riku Sujiwara. Further down, Denitson Chu, after that crash yesterday, was 10th. Australian Tom Edwards 11th, ahead of Bahatin Sofuolu. Irfan Adianciar, who crashed yesterday as well, was 13th, ahead of Izam Ikmal. And Warapod Niyam Sakan Sako picks up a point in 15th place. Nakamura, Kairuddin and Yuki Kuni all failed to finish the race. Likewise for Dwiki Zapata as well. So points on offer for all who finished that. The top 3 will make their way up onto the podium shortly. And we will be hearing the Japanese national anthem once more. In the championship, well, it's far from over. Ayagura has a 7-point lead over Somkhet Chantra. Yamanaka there in 3rd, Izdihar in 4th, Juri Salim in 5th. I'd say the top 5 are all in contention with 50 points available. Yuki Kuni with that crash is probably just too far adrift now, and likewise for Kazuki Masaki, who really had to win that to stand any faint chance at all. Chanon-Chu has moved up into 10th place overall, and Denitz, his brother, the twins move ahead of Idam Kairuddin with their points today. Further down there you can see a couple of riders that unfortunately weren't racing here. Ahmed Yansin, Hiroki Nakamura, Kit Chun-Law and Ahmed Yansin. The top 3 then. getting ready to head onto the podium, and that is a very different looking Ai Ogura to what we saw yesterday. He won't be looking miserable anymore. He was back in contention again, I think it's fair to say, after the results in Zhuhai in China. The only round in the season that doesn't follow the World Superbike Championship or the MotoGP Championship. 3 wins now for him. He was a race winner last year as well. He finished 7th overall in the championship in 2015 with 3 podiums. Well, this year, 6 podiums and 3 victories for Ai Ogura, with 2 races left to go. Now, I suppose if there's any downside for Ai Ogura, it's the fact that the last time he went to Malaysia with the World Superbike Championship a few months back, he put in his worst results of the season. He's going to have to turn that around. He finished 5th and then failed to finish the 2nd race. If he does the same again in a couple of weeks' time, the championship will go elsewhere, so he'll have to dig deep and try and defend that championship lead, but he won't care about that right now. On home turf, he has got a victory. And when it comes to listening to your national anthem, it won't get more emotional than on home turf. Many congratulations then to the 3 on the podium. It was a Japanese lockout across both races here in the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup. A 3rd place for Kazuki Masaki, 2nd for Ryusei Yamanaka, and a win for Ai Ogura. The championship is alive and well, with 2 races still remaining. The land of the rising sun, the twin ring here at Motegi, has supplied us with 2 breathtaking races, one yesterday and then this one today. Enjoy the highlights and be sure to join us again in 2 weeks' time when we visit Sepang with the MotoGP World Championship, where the Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup will be decided.